So we got our fuel tank from Tanks Inc. I'm going with a 7172 Nova, Chevy Nova tank. It's 20 gallons and it's going to be set up for EFI. Comes with straps. Filler neck. I don't know what we're going to do with that yet. Some sort of instructions. Gaskets. Rubber. Tank vent. Tank vent. You know. For when it rolls over. Don't roll it over. So I don't know if it makes sense, but it kind of does to me. So the reason I went with this one is because of the way the filler tube is. It's right at the top and it goes almost straight out. So this is the vent, this is for your pickup, for your fuel level, and then this is the pickup for the pump and stuff. And it's supposed to be like 39 wide, 20 some odd deep. But it should fit back there, I think, right? We'll see. So it's galvanized and then powder coated silver. So we shouldn't have to worry about rust or anything like that for a long time. The reason I put the bed on was so I could figure out where I'm going to stick this fuel tank. I don't want the filler coming up through the wood. I want it running out the back. I thought about bringing it out through the side, but that seems kind of complicated. So, you know, just a straight shot out the back. You get a flip down license plate like we used to have in the 70s, 80s. And you just fill it up back there. So we'll put the tank in there level like everything else, and then when the truck's sitting it'll be up like that, so we shouldn't have to worry about, you know, spillage or anything coming back up. I think it should be kind of easy to fill. It might be a little low, you might have to bend down, but I don't know yet. There's not a how-to guide for any of this crap, so, you know, we just kind of wing it and make it work the best we can. So first things first, let's get underneath and see what's what. With this thing on the rollers and it all the way down, there's not a lot of room under here. So, you know, fat guy, skinny spot with a gas tank. We'll see. So it'll fit between the rails, right? I mean, it's tight, but that's kind of a good thing. We're gonna have to cut this rear brace a lot, but that's okay too. We don't really need it because we have this cross back here for our shock mount. And then we can put something else across here. This is lining up. This is lining up better than I expected. So this was my main concern. Right here. because we have to have room for those shocks. So we have to be able to back up. I mean, we can go back closer to the shocks. I don't know if we need to though. I really don't. So it's just standard 2-inch connection. And then what I can do is they have these hoses in different shapes to get a straight fit on here. I mean, you can get a little bit of bend in this, but not much. It's pretty thick. And I guess it depends on if you want your filler centered in the license plate hole or not. And I think this will work out pretty good because when we put the hardware in, this is right here, so we'll be able to run the lines. I can tuck them up inside here and run them out and to the front of the truck. So that's without cutting the cross member. And that almost puts us like right at the center of the license plate. So this is my conundrum, right? This is what I'm trying to figure out. How low do I want this tank to sit? And I mean, I think that will be fine. It's not any lower than it won't be any lower than the running boards, and it won't be any lower than the 4-link where it attaches over here. So I mean, it'll be high enough off of the ground, but there's a different option. There's another option, right? Let's think about that. So if we were gonna come out the back and we didn't have this, where would we be coming out at? We'd be coming out up here. So there's a flush mount filler neck that we can cut a hole. It flush mounts right here. There's a 3 3/8 wide and a 3 3/4 wide. The inner diameter is only 2 5/8 or something like that. No, the inner diameter is only 2 inch because it takes a 2-inch hose. And it's 2 5/8 long, and then the flange is 3 3/4, and it's only an 1/8 inch. So I mean, I've already figured, as long as you're not touching this, this does not roll any further down. It won't interfere. And then that means we could take this tank. So if we were this low, we're going to fill through here, we can raise the tank up to here inside the frame, and then it's basically invisible from behind. And the little flange will just cover a little bit of this right here. If you center it, it's just going to barely dip down and get below that, but it won't go any lower. I've thought about welding this on anyway. I could weld this piece on, and then we can body fill it and make it look seamless. And then when you fill up your truck, you just walk behind here, pop the thing open, fill her up, and go. There's kind of a commitment point though. When I cut a hole through this, we're kind of committed. I mean, not really. You could always weld it back up again. And if we weld this to this, then our hole really won't affect the structure, because we'll have this, and then my fuel tank would practically disappear. And the filler's polished aluminum, so it would blend in with the hinges and everything else. It wouldn't look like it wouldn't be an eyesore. A dick on a fish, if you will. And I'm leaning pretty hard towards that right now, because I think this just, I mean, it's fine, but I'd rather have it up higher. Let me make some measurements. The filler is 3 3/4, and this roll of tape is 3 7/8, so it's an eighth bigger. So it would sit right here like that, about that diameter. And then if we open the tank, see, it doesn't get in the way at all. Don't try to fill it up with the tailgate down, but and good for me, this little weld is fucking centered. I mean, it's center of this whole thing, so we don't protrude below this. And even if we didn't weld this on, we could screw and it would be fine. But I think we're gonna weld, I think I'm gonna end up welding this on anyway. That way I can cut more. So our center hole is going to be our center hole. The center of our hole is gonna be the center of our hole. I do this, I want this right there. The center of our hole is 1.5 inches. So center of hole would be 1.5 inches up, right there, from this line. And so from the back, make some marks. Show you what I'm thinking here. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. This is why it's hard to work with a camera. Let me open this up. Or, yeah, let me open this up. Stop! God damn it. Can't see shit. What's going on? Really? Here? That ain't working. This is center, right? I'm pretty sure that's all the same shit. Yeah. So if we come up here, 1.5 inches. Inch and a half. Inch and a half. I'm upside down. Let me see. Okay. So basically right here, so this would be center line, and our fuel filler would come up half of this, basically, and then the other half right here. So we could line this up with that. So that means we could come up, hold on, center to center about 5 inches. And we are 3.5 on this thing to the top. So we're coming up past all of that, which means we could run fuel, which means I want to go back. No, I don't. I'm good. Maybe just a little bit. I was chastised a couple videos ago for ripping over plastic with my teeth. So look, I'm using scissors. Yeah, so if we lift this tank up, then it'll only be 2 inches below the frame on the sides. But this is 2 3/4 lower, so I mean from the back you would barely even be able to see it. It'd be almost completely hidden. And then we just have to figure out how we're gonna mount it, which is why we're here, right? Figure stuff out. 1.5 inches, 2 inches below the wood. Don't wait. It's gonna be a 1/4 inch higher. Filler neck's gonna be a 1/4 inch higher because of the rubber pads. I'm gonna have to take this bed off and on so many times to figure this out. We're gonna do something. I'm gonna cut that out though. And I don't want to do it with the bed on because then, you know, I'm gonna get crap on my wood. And I don't want to get crap on my wood. And I'm gonna raise up. That way, then I can raise the whole tank up and really get to figuring. Ooh, a piece of flexible hose. Sometimes you don't even think about that kind of stuff. They got the flexi hose, right? It's just one piece. Attach it here, tie it on, and then it'll just bend right into that. And then I gotta figure out tank mounts. Whether I'm gonna use straps or not. We'll figure it out. We always do. Okay.